The Pit of 100 Trials, the most difficult challenge in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. This dungeon tests the player's skills and must be beaten in one sitting. If you die, it's completely over and you have to start again from the beginning. As a kid, I remember struggling to survive in the lower levels of the pit and dying way too often. Therefore, we want to be able to beat it in the easiest way possible. Now, the best way to do this is to challenge the pit after you have beaten the game, because you will be a pretty high level and you will have access to a lot of great badges. But you can start tackling on the pit right after you get paper mode, which is during chapter 1 before fighting Hooktail. The problem, however, is that you won't have access to Chet Rippo until you've beaten chapter 5. Who is Chet Rippo and why is he important? Chet Rippo increases one of Mario's stats and lowers another in exchange for 39 coins. This is very useful when you need to buff one of your weaker stats or you accidentally upgraded the wrong stat. The best part about this is that you can downgrade Mario's health all the way down to 5. This is exactly what we want. This enables us to use Power Rush without having to lower Mario's health into danger. Power Rush increases Mario's attack power by 2 when in danger, meaning if you have 5 HP or less and you equip multiple Power Rushes, you become a force to be reckoned with. You can obtain 1 Power Rush from the badge shop as well as multiple of these from the Pianta Parlor for 100 Pianta tokens each. But you need to obtain the gold card to be able to buy them. To get the gold card, you need to complete Frankie's Trouble, and to unlock Frankie's Trouble, you need to have completed chapter 6 first. You can either do all of that, or farm Power Rush badges from Paratroopas or Shady Koopas, but the odds for that are pretty low, so I suggest just buying them from the parlor. Now, the biggest downside with this strategy, however, is when you reach deeper levels of the pit, enemies start to deal 5+ damage, and if you're not good with your super guards, you'll be burning life shrooms faster than your fingers be mashing, and that's where this next badge comes into play, Last Stand. Last Stand halves the damage Mario takes when in danger. At first glance, this badge seems not that great, but hear me out when I say it's great for survival when using danger strats and can save you plenty of life shrooms and other resources, because you won't have to feel anxious about missing super guards since you will be taking 1 damage maximum if you equip enough Last Stands. Now, when I tested this out, I wasn't fully understanding the math behind it, but the way Last Stand works is it divides the enemy's damage by the number of Last Stands equipped plus 1 rounded up. For example, if an enemy deals 10 damage and you have 2 Last Stand badges equipped, 10 divided by 3 equals 3.33. Rounded up becomes 4. You will be taking 4 damage from that enemy. If you guard those attacks, it won't reduce the damage unless you defend and guard, which only reduces the damage by 1. So I recommend equipping at least 2 or 3 of these badges to maximize survivability, and the most I would probably equip is 7 or 8, because one of the strongest enemies in the pit deals base 9 damage, but even then 8 Last Stands is a little bit too much, so I'm sure you'll be fine with just 2 equipped. You are able to get 2 Last Stands playing through the game normally before having to farm them from the Hyper Goomba line or Green Fuzzies. You can get one of them in the Glitz Pit, inside one of the boxes in the hallway, and another one in the lovely House of Badges. The next badge that you might want to use is HP Drain, as it can be really useful when using danger strats, because you will heal back 1 HP after damaging enemies during your turn. You do lose 1 attack power, but all the extra attack power from Power Rushes makes this insignificant. You can get this badge after chapter 5 after you obtain boat mode, and it's located to the left of Rogueport Harbor. This next badge is optional, but FP Drain can be a useful badge if you have low FP and you need to replenish it during your pit run. But it does decrease Mario's attack power by 1. You can buy this badge from the badge shop and in Rogueport. The next badge you're definitely going to need is Quick Change, which lets you act even after switching partners, because switching partners normally uses up your turn, but with Quick Change you can switch partners as many times as you want without using up your turn. You can get this badge from Dazzle for 9 star pieces. I would also recommend getting Spike Shield and Ice Power, as you're gonna run into a lot of spiked enemies and the lava bubble line in the deeper floors of the pit. You can get Spike Shield in Rogue Port, sub level 2 behind these bars after Vivian joins your party. For Ice Power, you get by turning into paper mode to get under the bridge onto this platform in Keelhaul Key. Flower Saver, Heart Finder, and Flower Finder are optional. They can be useful, but you'll be using a lot of BP just to save a few FP and picking up extra hearts back, since you'll be at 5 HP anyways. HP drain is going to save you badge points, and you'll be healing during battle while having Last Stand equipped. You can get Flower Saver from under Creepy Steeple, and you can get Heart Finder and Flower Finder from Dazzle for 6 star pieces each. And of course, you're going to need to equip Multi-Bounce and Power Bounce. These two badges are a no-brainer when it comes to playing the game. Lastly, don't forget to equip 1 or 2 Power Rush Ps and Mega Rush P just in case. I will be equipping 3 Power Plus Ps to increase my partner's attack power for this run. Equip Power Plus only if you have the badge points, otherwise just stick with Power Rush P. I will be equipping 6 to 7 Power Rushes. With all the badges I have equipped, means you'll need at least 30 to 48 badge points to do this strategy, which is a rough estimate considering you might want to equip Power Plus P for your partner. Upon entering the pit entrance, we can see a new recovery block and a save block, which were absent from the GameCube version. If you're low on health, flower points, and star power, go ahead and hit the recovery block. And don't forget to save your game. Okay, so now we are ready to take on the Pit of 100 Trials. On levels 1 through 9, you'll encounter Gloombas, Spinias, Spanias, Hellbones, and Fuzzies. All these enemies are pushovers. They are pretty easy to super guard and don't hit too hard. You'll get different combinations of enemies, but sometimes you'll get 5 of the same enemies. Like right here where I got 5 Spinias. And sometimes enemies will carry items or badges. On level 6, I encounter my first mover. You can either choose to continue normally, or have the mover move you down 2 levels, 5 levels, or back to the entrance. Using movers isn't restricted, so I'm going to use it whenever I run into one. This time I chose to go down 2 levels, because I need to open the chest on level 10. After 2 more fights, I reached level 10, and I got Sleepy Stomp from the chest. This badge has its niche, and when used on an enemy, it will put them to sleep for 5 turns. It was buffed from the original game in that more attacks are exempt from being able to wake up enemies or something like that. So go crazy, I guess. I've never used this badge personally. On levels 11 through 19, you will encounter Paraglumbas, Clefts, Pokies, Dark Puffs, and Piters. Paraglumbas, Dark Puffs, and Piters are very easy to deal with. Clefts and Pokies can be annoying, but this is where Spike Shield starts to come in handy, since you're really just going to be using multi-bounds on fights with 2 or more enemies. These floors are a piece of cake. Level 20's chest rewards you with Fire Drive, an amazing badge that damages and burns all enemies for 5 FP. I won't be using this badge very much in this run since I am already going with danger strats. On levels 21 to 29, you'll encounter Spiky Gloombas, Bandits, Lakitus, Bob-ombs, and Boos. Enemies are getting slightly stronger, but nothing to worry about here, except Bandits. On level 22, I had to fight 5 Bandits, which is the worst thing that can happen to you in a pit run, because if one of them steals your coin and runs away, you will not win the battle. You have to defeat all the Bandits to continue to the next level. With situations like these, it's great to pack items like Earthquakes, Thunder Rages, and Shooting Stars, as they will defeat all the bandits in one turn. Spiky Gloombas are easy to deal with, Lakitus can be annoying, but Spike Shield helps for whenever they spawn the Spinies, and Bob-ombs and Boos are pretty easy to deal with. On level 28, one of the Bob-ombs was holding a stopwatch. If you encounter this, get rid of that foe immediately. I did not kill it on my first turn and died and wasted a life stream for being stupid. Small mistakes like that can cost you your run. Level 30 rewarded me with Zap Tap. This badge is useful against bandits because they will not be able to steal from you when attacking and will instead take damage when attacking, so if you're bad with super guards, I would recommend equipping this badge in normal runs. I also stumbled upon Charlieton. The deeper you are in the pit, the pricier his items get, so if you need to buy some healing items, buy them early. He also sells Thunder Rages, which is great for when you encounter 5 enemies at the same time. Levels 31 through 39 has Dark Koopas, Hyper Clefts, Parabuzzies, Shady Koopas, and Flower Fuzzies. Parabuzzies and Hyper Clefts, and especially Parabuzzies, have decently high defense. Shady Koopas can attack both Mario and partner even after being flipped on the backs for 6 damage, so kill them as quick as you can. And again, be careful of enemies that hold items or badges. The chest on level 40 had Pity Flower, which occasionally recovers 1 FP when Mario gets hit. This is such a terrible badge that I will never use. Not even guaranteed, which makes FP drain a better option anyway. On levels 41 through 49, you will encounter Dark Paratroopas, Bulky Bob-ombs, Lava Bubbles, Poison Pokies, and Spiky Parabuzzies. On these levels, Ice Power will help a lot, because without it you cannot jump on fire enemies. Spiky Parabuzzies are some of the most annoying enemies you will fight, as they have 4 defense and can't jump on them without Spike Shield. Otherwise, reaching level 50 isn't too bad. On level 41, one of the Dark Paratroopas was holding an Ice Storm. I could not have played a worse move than Tornado Jump, because after the enemy used Ice Storm I got frozen, took damage, and wasted another of my life shrooms. Also, Tornado Jump's Tornado attack isn't affected by attack boosting badges, which I thought would kill the Paratroopas. Always kill enemies that hold items or steal them, because if you don't, they will use them against you. On level 46, I ran into 4 Dark Paratroopas, and one of them was holding another Ice Storm. And yes, this time I killed them before they could use their item. I finally reached level 50 and found graffiti on the wall. One of the troubles in this game is to remove graffiti from the 50th level of the pit for Swab, who is in Far Outpost. So I took the time to complete this request by using Bobbery to blow up the part of the wall. This time I got a strange sack from the chest, which increased my item count from 15 to 20. This is one of the most useful items to have. Now floors 1 through 49 aren't so bad, but when you reach floors 51 through 100, things start to turn dark. Very dark. You will encounter Badge Bandits, Ice Puffs, Dark Boos, Red Chomps, and Moonclefts on levels 51 through 59. This is where the difficulty starts increasing because enemies can one-hit KO you if you're not careful. Be especially wary of Badge Bandits, because if they steal your badges, you will have a bad time. Ice Puffs are weak to fire moves, Dark Boos are just stronger versions of Boos, Red Chomps can be hard to super guard and are immune to fire moves, and Moonclefts are also immune to fire moves and are the strongest versions of Clefts. On level 55 I encountered another mover. The last one I encountered was almost 50 levels ago, so I'm gonna pay him to go down 5 levels. And with that, we are at level 60. The chest on level 60 gives you Double Dip. You can obtain 2 Double Dips in the game, and this is the second one that I got. The first one is an East Rogue Port, but you need boat mode to get it. This badge is great because it lets Mario use 2 items in a single turn, or if you have 2 Double Dips equipped, you can use 3 items in a single turn. On levels 61 through 69, Dark Lakitus, Dry Bones, Dark Wizards, Frost Piranhas, and Dark Craws show up. Just like regular Lakitus, Dark Lakitus can spawn in Spinies, but Sky Blue Spinies that are stronger than regular Spinies instead. Only difference is they can charge up their attacks to deal 10 damage on the next turn, so try to defeat them quickly. Dark Wizards are one of the toughest enemies in the pit because of their myriad of attacks, including a laser beam that's really hard to super guard. Dry Bones and Frost Piranhas aren't too difficult to deal with, but have high attack power. On level 63, I encountered another mover, and of course I went down 5 levels, which moved me to level 68, where I have to fight a Dark Wizard. This fight had a Dark Craw holding a Life Shroom. Dark Craws have 20 health and 6 attack power. They shouldn't be too hard to super guard, but try to defeat them without taking much damage. Also, this happened. Haha, yes, I predicted that. Just kidding. Anyways, with that, we can go to level 69 with the Frost Piranha Plant, the last enemy before reaching level 70. I went in and defeated the first two, but suddenly the last Frost Piranha used its Frost Breath attack and I got frozen. I didn't have any more life shrooms, and unfortunately I succumbed to my injuries and got a game over. Normally, if you die in the pit, you have to start from the beginning. But in the Nintendo Switch version of the Thousand Year Door, an option to continue where you died has been added. Normally, this would not be allowed in challenge runs, but this is not a challenge run, so I will choose to continue. This time, I defeated the enemies on level 69 and descended to level 70. Only 30 more levels to go. The chest on level 70 gives me double dip key, which lets my partner use 2 items at once. On levels 71 through 79, you will encounter wizards, Dark Koopa Trolls, Phantom Embers, Swoopulas, and Chain Chomps, 3 of which are from the Palace of Shadow. Wizards are stronger versions of Dark Wizards. Wizards have 10 HP, 6 attack, and 3 defense, step up in difficulty from the Dark variants. Be sure to stay on guard always against these guys, as they can be unpredictable with their attacks. Dark Koopa Trolls have the highest health of any enemy in the game, not including bosses, but they do have more health than Hooktail, which is hilarious. With Spike Shield, Dark Koopa Trolls are a joke because they can't do anything after they are flipped, so use that to your advantage. On level 73, I encountered yet another mover, so I used him to descend all the way to level 78, where there is a Phantom Ember, the strongest version of Embers. They have 10 health and 5 attack power, and are weak to ice attacks and explosions, so ice power comes in really handy here. Using Bobbery also helps you defeat them faster. Swoopulas are just stronger versions of Supers with 9 health and 4 attack power, so they are pretty much pushovers. And with another multi-bounce, I reached level 80. Level 80's chest contains Bump Attack, a completely useless badge in the Pit of 100 Trials. Outside of it, however, can be useful because you bump into enemies and they are instantly defeated. Of course, you have to be strong enough to be able to bump attack them, but other than that, it's a useless badge. On levels 81 through 89, you encounter Spanias, Dark Bristles, Tarantulas, and Piranha Plants. These levels can be one of the most challenging levels because all the enemies hit hard. Spike Shield will also come in handy during these levels because Spanias, Dark Bristles, and Piranha Plants all have spikes. Spanias aren't too difficult if you know how to super guard them, but they do have 12 health, 7 attack, and 2 defense. Dark Bristles are immune to fire attacks, have 8 health, 8 attack, and a high 4 defense. So you want to use Quake Hammer or Pow Blocks to turn them over because their defense is high, or otherwise you super guard them. Piranha Plants have a very high base attack power of 9 and a high HP of 15. Fortunately, they don't have a breath attack, so you just have to super guard their bites. Tarantulas are stronger versions of Piters with 16 health and 7 attack power. They will sometimes spit 3 web wads at you. The second one comes out relatively quickly after the first attack, then the third attack is delayed, so make sure to practice your super guards against them, because then you'll take huge damage. For these levels, super guarding is super important. And with that, I sweep through levels 81 through 89 and finally reached level 90. The level 90 chest contains a Lucky Day badge, which gives a 25% chance to dodge attacks for 7 badge points. It sounds like a great badge to wear, but wearing 3 Pretty Luckies gives you a higher chance to dodge and uses less badge points, so it's not really worth it to wear Lucky Day. So now we reach the final 10 levels of the pit. Levels 91 through 99 consist of Elite Wizards, Poison Puffs, Bob Ults, Swampires, and Amazy Daisies. Elite Wizards are the strongest variants of Wizard and the toughest enemies in the pit because of the different attacks they can do, along with having a high attack of 8, 5 defense, and 12 HP. Unless you can defeat them quickly, you are going to have trouble with these enemies the most. These guys are notorious for being run killers. Poison Puffs are the strongest puff variant with 15 HP and 8 attack power. Sometimes they will charge up for their Poison Breath attack the following turn. If you jump on them in this state, they will deal payback damage to you, meaning if you have an attack power of 8, you will take 4 damage. These guys shouldn't be too difficult to deal with, since poison can be cured with a sweet treat if you do manage to get poisoned. Bob Ulks function the same as bulky Bob-Ombs. They will light their fuse and then charge up their attack power before blowing up after 5 turns of lighting their fuse. So try to defeat them quickly. Their base damage is 4 and have 10 HP with 2 defense. One thing I do not recommend is hitting a first strike with Bobbery. Whatever you do, do not do a first strike with Bobbery, because if you get 3 or 4 Bob Ulks, you will take a lot of damage and that's not good. Swampires are the strongest variant of Swoopers. They are easy to super guard just like Swoopulas, but they have 20 health and 6 attack. They are not difficult to beat, but they do have high health. Now, Amazy Daisy have a chance to appear in these levels. They have the highest attack power of any enemy in the game with 20 attack. They also have 20 HP and 1 defense. Most of the time they will run away, but if they do attack, you will be taking 20 damage and that's not something you want to happen, so best of luck to you. I encountered 4 Amazy Daisies, 1 on level 93 and 1 on level 97, and 2 on level 98, which is some crazy luck. If you do defeat them, they will drop a huge amount of star points and level you up relatively quickly. And so with that, we are finally ready to take on level 100. On level 100, the hardest boss in the entire game, Bonetail, has 200 HP, 8 attack, and 2 defense. Just like her siblings, her bite attack is unsuper guardable. Bonetail has breath attacks that can put you to sleep, confuse, shrink, or freeze you, so unless you are confident in your super guards, guarding will protect you from status effects. I definitely recommend equipping Feeling Fine, which makes Mario immune to status effects. In this run, I was able to super guard Bonetail's breath attacks and then defeat her with a spring jump, just to flex. And with that, the Pit of 100 Trials is beaten. After defeating Bonetail, a chest falls from the ceiling that grants you Return Postage, a badge that deals payback damage to enemies when they attack Mario. A niche badge to say the least. It has its uses, but most of the time it is useless, at least for me. Overall, with Danger Strats, this run took me around 2 hours and 24 minutes to complete. That is not too bad, but you can definitely beat it much quicker than that. And that is going to conclude the video. If you made it to the end, I want to thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed. Any feedback is welcome. I have more planned for the future that I want to do, so please stay tuned for that. And until next time.